allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I will open the floor for public comment. Would anyone from the public like to address us? Okay. I'd like to call up our water and sewer superintendent, Bill Norton. He has an update for the Common Council.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, Taylor and Emily. I'm here to discuss the situation that we discovered. I think everybody knows about the South Glens Falls force main failure under the bridge on Route 9. I was called, I believe, Thursday around 11:30 in the morning by Alan Voice from the South Glens Falls Public Works Department, and he said that their force main had collapsed. So we rushed down there and took a look at what we had to do, what was going on. We got that under control, and under control I mean by getting septic haulers to their pump station so they can deliver the sewage to the treatment plant rather than enforcement and shutting off any flow into the feed. During our observation of that, we noticed that the City of Glens Falls owns an 8-inch water main that runs along the northeast side of the Feed Canal Bridge on Route 9. There was water dripping out of it, so we weren't sure if it was a break or groundwater or just dumping ice or anything like that, because we couldn't tell because the pipe is insulated, so we couldn't see the pipe itself. So immediately the contractor on site worked on getting a temporary fix for the South Glens Falls issue with their force main. And while he was doing that, I think it was a Saturday or Sunday, he uncovered the pipe. Now what we found out that there was 3 or 4 supports on that pipe that had failed. They may rot out during the winters from constant salt being thrown over by plows and things of that nature. We're not sure exactly why those supports failed, right? When they unwrapped right where those supports failed was a fitting. And what happened is the pipe done this, and when it did that, it compromised the fitting, so there was water leaking out. It didn't fail, but there's water leaking out. So we looked at the rest of the existing fittings and supports that hold that pipe up. And we're going to look at replacing that whole line. There's obviously, we're not sure what caused the failure. There's a lot of movement on that bridge, traffic daily all over it all the time, so that's constantly moving. So we're looking at flexible fittings at each side so that the pipe can move with the bridge. There are things there now, so we're not sure why that fell. And obviously it fell because of the supports that failed. So we're looking at that. We're looking at different materials to use the pipe. It seems like cast iron pipe is the way to go with some flexible fittings. We're developing some scope to get what needs to be done. We're fortunate in the fact that it's still up and running. We haven't shut it off. We have exercised the valves, so we know they hold. We know we can shut it off. We're looking at a temporary feed to finish paper mills so that we don't shut them off completely. So we're devising plans whether we have to come out with the hydrants. We're still looking at that. We're looking at, like I said, getting all the components to put all this back together. The lucky part of this, I don't know if anybody's been down there, the contractor on site, TKC, actually has like barges in the canal and a lift on top of that. So once we get all the parts and everything, components, and we can make sure we have temporary way to feed water to finish, it should be a fairly easy fix. Not easy, it's relative because we're working up in the air on the side of the bridge, and Department of Transportation owns the bridge, so we have to go through there and meet all that criteria. So there's weird things that we had. I met with the mayor early this morning, not early, right at noon, I interrupted her lunch. So just to make her aware, and we spoke about it, I said, do we want to inform the council? And she said, very available to come. And I was, so just wanted to let you know where we are and where we're heading, and have a picture of what's going on in case any of your constituents ask you. So, and with that, if anybody has any questions,
Bill, are we gonna do the work, or does this require a contract?
this requires a contract.
And that contractor that's there now doing the work for?
Absolutely.
So are we and South Glens Falls are gonna be paying the bill?
We'll be paying the bill for our portion of the project. Yeah, the water, they're obligated to pay their portion of the force main repair. So we'll have to delineate where those responsibilities lie. But just to give you the magnitude of this, we've probably taken an additional 300 to 325 loads of septic trucks. And that was, one of the big things was just navigating that, and the fact that there was so much traffic. We had the boys and girls basketball tournament going. So there's, and the northbound lanes.
And the dance.
And the northbound lane was shut down, the northbound lane was shut down to one lane. So that was pretty good. So Chris Miller calculated that we probably took about 1 million gallons from the septic haulers, which equates to what we would assume, because it's usually what we get from about 4 days, and South Glens Falls usually costs about 250,000 gallons a day, so it's almost dead on.
And Bill, just to be clear, the two issues are completely separate. The waste discharge was a South Glens Falls issue,
Yes.
and what's leaking from our pipe is just water.
It's clean water, drinking potable water.
Yeah, potable water, so.
Yes. So we weren't sure about the leak until we were able to run that installation.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it was a fortunate thing that you were there to help and assist South Glens Falls and discover this before there was a further incident.
Yeah, we don't know, this pipe may last for years, may fail tomorrow, we don't know that, so to get away from that, we need to repair it to have a reliable source to finish. Right away, we weren't even sure if it was our pipe until we did the research, and now we have to get a hold of DOT, go through all their specs, make sure we meet all the requirements to repaint.
Any further questions from David?
Bill, this might seem a little premature, but any idea on possible cost, or it's probably too early?
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. I discussed with the mayor that there may be a wide range.
And that's fine. I figured a little early on, so.
We did speak about, maybe having to use some of the waterfront balance to pay for this. So
Okay.
there's some funds available.
Perfect.
I guess my question, will this delay, it's not too early, but will this delay fill in the feeder canal later spring, summer?
I don't think so, no. We should be, once we get the okay, it should be more than 2 or 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I don't anticipate. The contractor on site is well known in the area, does very good work.
Okay, thank you for coming tonight. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, next we will move to committee reports. Councilwoman at Large Good.
Yes, the next, our next committee, will be meeting on the next Wednesday at 5:30, in the mayor's conference room.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Donahue.
Finance committee met yesterday. We discussed a wide range of different sorts of fees in the past 2 meetings, and we're going to ultimately move ahead with kind of adjusting our cemetery fees. What we charge, it's been 10, 15 years since we've even looked at the fees or adjusted them. Another thing, we did our spot audit of the warrant. We found no major issues or anything out of the ordinary. We also discussed potentially lowering taxes for lower income seniors down the road here. That's probably not going to be but I think we're going to move forward on that. And next meeting, we're going to talk with the fire chief about EMS fees, and hopefully we can come to some sort of agreement reviewing fees. And that's it. Yeah, we've been busy.
Yeah,
We've been busy.
thank you for your work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Councilman Landry.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. The Labor Management Personnel Committee recently met and interviewed 5 candidates for the open position of full-time city court judge. The pool of candidates was well experienced and already working professionally in our communities. The choice was difficult, but the committee and the mayor felt that present Warren County Attorney Larry Ellman was the best candidate to become our next city court judge. There is a resolution before us tonight to have this council appoint Larry Ellman as city court judge for the city of Glens Falls, and the committee recommends this appointment.
Thank you for your time. That was a long resume.
Yeah, it was.
I appreciate it. Committee reports, Councilman Rice.
The policy committee met today and reviewed a number of pending and active items. Several matters will be referred to other committees for review, so be on the lookout for those. The city vehicles, equipment use, and diamond policies were all advanced to a drafting phase. Committee continues to make progress on its ongoing work, and additional updates will follow as items are ready to move forward.
Thank you, Lloyd. You have also had a heavy load in your committee, and I appreciate your attention to all of those policies.
Thank you.
Councilman Malcolm.
I'd just like to restate what you had said, or reaffirm that Dan and D1 and D3, have been going at a cadence that's quicker than we usually, more meetings and more in-depth than we're accustomed to. And we've taken on policies and putting procedures in to really firm up what we're doing in terms of being the financial stewards of Glens Falls. And it's, a really good thing for the city to have this kind of work coming out, and it has been really pleasurable working with them all and with everybody on the council. Really been pleasurable. The technology committee met on March 5th. We discussed some things with technology setup so that we could potentially do more work on committee meetings and kind of automate some things, some tasks. We discussed the Munis system, about what we might be able to do to kind of get into why we're not able to take the payments online right now, because that's a pain point. We had several action items for follow-up. We are going to meet again on Thursday and be discussing, taking a presentation from Markville Fire about our cybersecurity risk analysis, and potentially moving that recommendation forward. We'll also be talking with Store Tech about the fire department server. Just initially, I heard that from Store Tech that there's still software that isn't optimized for the web, so we would need to do some other searching there. So it looks like now we have them looking to see if they can find some more affordable options for the server and backup. And that's what I have for
Thank you. And I'm particularly interested in the cybersecurity work that you're doing. That's obviously very important.
Yeah, and part of that too is I'm also going to present the committee with an AI draft policy that we can start talking about. And then I will fill out Dan's intake forms for various policy recommendations that we're doing over on the technology side. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Palladino.
The Quality of Life Committee will meet this coming Monday on the 16th at 5 o'clock in the mayor's conference room, and with special guest Scott Royale of the Warren County Solid Waste and Recycling Program. So it should be a fun event.
Yes, thank you for meeting today. Perfect. Okay, at this time, we will move on to our consent agenda. Is there any item from the consent agenda that anyone would like to pull?
Yes.
Yes.
So, Mayor, before we pull it,
Yeah.
I was a little concerned about approving outside dining permits that don't expire until
shouldn't cause delay for the,
Right. I mean, I don't, yeah, we should not delay this, that's for sure.
yeah.
If
If we
it's
could
looking
just,
like it's getting too tight, we can move these, back onto the agenda.
Right.
I think it's doable.
Okay,
so I'd like to move to table.
okay, so I see that we have a motion to table item 5.4.
Right.
Would anyone second that?
I second the motion.
Okay. You have to do a roll call? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Anything else anyone would like to pull?
Mayor, I'd like, if you could, I'd like to pull 5, 6. Just-
Okay,
I'm going to need to abstain from that because there's a payment to the Warren Hamilton Community Action, and I sit on that
okay,
board, so it's just
Sure.
abundance of caution that I'm just going to abstain from that vote. But
okay,
I have no issues with
okay,
what's being presented.
okay. Should we do a roll call vote so that we can know everyone's, okay. All right, so why don't we go to do the consent agenda and we'll come back to item 5.6. Okay, anything else anyone would like to pull for discussion? Okay,
I just want to have questions about 5.7. Is that just asking the governor to, or the representatives to pass that $100 million temporary assistance? Like, that's sure what that meant. Mhm.
yeah, so NICOM, the New York Conference of Mayors, to which we are a member, has been advocating for an increase in the funding that goes to municipalities. It hasn't changed in a long time, and they argue that it should be, keeping with inflation or some inflationary index, and their advocacy efforts have been successful, so they sent some outreach out to their members saying, would you please pass a resolution that you are in support of asking for more funding for municipalities? So that's what that's about. Any concerns, or are you okay to include that in the consent agenda?
It seems pretty straightforward, but I guess if we do get the money, then what will happen if the city gets that? Because that's a lot of money.
Well, all that money doesn't go to us.
Oh,
That's the-
okay.
In my dreams, yeah.
You're right.
I guess that's what I was confused about. Is it all of it doesn't just go to us?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna do a lot of stuff.
Where would we be without wishful thinking? Yes. But it's still great that if they increase it across the state, then everybody should get a little more share, so, yeah. Okay, so is it okay to keep that in the consent agenda?
Yeah.
All right, anything else anyone would like to pull?
Oh, good. One more. I have a question about 5.9. I looked, is the planning department going to take a lot of those responsibilities going forward?
The architectural consultant is a consultant that has been working on this project for years, and so we are basically just asking them to make some adjustments with the changes that we've made to our plans. And we already have a contract with them, so that's why they are, yeah.
But going forward with other developments, the planning department would do a lot of these responsibilities, right? Or
Well, some of these are like bids for contractors and things like that, so our purchasing department can do that. But the planning department will take the lead on, applying for funding and things like that for projects.
okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, acknowledging that 5.4 has been tabled and we have pulled 5.6?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion's carried. Now we'll do a roll call vote for 5.6. 5.6, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the CDBG payments?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote?
Councilman at Large.
Yes.
Councilman Donahue.
Abstain.
Councilman Landry.
Yes.
Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Councilman Lidle.
Yes.
And Councilman Palladino.
Yes.
Motion passes. And then we have one item on the regular agenda. Councilman Landry spoke to this item already, and this is to appoint Attorney Larry Ullman to be the new city court judge. Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding that?
No, there was good interviews and all the judges really, they were really outstanding, but, you know, we had to make a decision and we thought that, we made the best decision for our community.
Yes, we're lucky to have
Yes.
so many candidates who want to step forward and serve our city, and I agree. I think the committee worked hard to make a good decision, so thank you. Would anyone like to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. At this time, I will go to old business. Old business, Councilman at Large Gooden.
I don't know this old business, so I did want to just, make a clarification, or get a clarification, I guess.
Sure.
So now, I'm talking about meetings.
Mhm.
So now, if you have more than 3 council members and someone come in, you have to have it has to be a special meeting.
Well, we are publicly noticing all of our committee meetings, just because any, there's 3 council people on each committee, that anyone could come to any of those meetings.
But I'm
yes,
talking about the council members, like 4, you have 3, don't we have to?
if we have 4, we have a quorum,
That's-
and I'm included, so if there's 4 of any of us, we have a
Okay,
quorum.
because I think I've been making a mistake, that's why I'm asking, because I've been coming to meetings, but I don't want to be in,
No, no.
I don't want to be full disclosure.
You are completely welcome to
Okay,
come to
yeah.
meetings, because we are publicly noticing all of them
Okay,
for that
all right.
purpose.
Okay.
So, yes,
All right.
yes.
Okay.
That's a change we made. It wasn't, they weren't always all being publicly noticed, and so we talked about that in the beginning. You're all doing that, and I appreciate that.
Okay,
So,
all right.
yes.
I just want to make sure.
And the guidelines is kind of, when in doubt, notice your meetings, engage the public. So I think we're doing the right thing by noticing all the meetings, and then we don't have that to worry
Okay, I
about.
just want to make sure.
Yeah. It's better to ask. Yeah.
Never asked, I'm
Yeah.
not being compliant, so, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, absolutely. Old business, Councilman Downey.
Old business, East End Rising Action Committee, met last Thursday, and it was a good meeting. We had about 30 of my constituents showed up. A few of them raised concerns, some quality of life issues, a lot of noise and truck traffic going on a smaller side street behind Eastfield, heading to the junkyard, which has been, I know, has been an issue for a while, and I can understand their frustrations and concerns. So maybe that's something we can look at. Another thing that was brought to my attention is if there's been any sort of like EPA test studies of the air and whatnot. I said that we certainly take a look at quality of life, or take a look at it and whatnot. So, but in our next meeting, the East End Rising is May 5th at 5 o'clock, tentatively right now. So I don't know I don't think it's going, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be a wing school. I think that's to be determined, but I'll pass that along as soon as I have it.
Thank you. Old business, Councilman Landry.
No old business.
Okay. Councilman Rice.
No old business.
Old business, Councilman Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Last weekend, I attended a program in the United Methodist Church in Hudson Falls with presentations from 3 faith leaders, Father Scott Andreer from St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church in Glens Falls, Reverend Natalie Wimberly from First Baptist Church in Hudson Falls, and Pastor Michael Plank from First Presbyterian Church in Hudson Falls. The topic was Welcome the Stranger, a conversation on faith and immigration. The conversation was about immigration, but my mind went to people of our community who are not well documented. They may be people from other countries. They may be people who have struggles with their families, with violence directed at them, with disabilities, with being unhoused. I thought of Michelle McFerrin, who was found deceased in a blue box in early March last year. I asked a question to the panel of faith leaders. How do we show love and kindness to the unhoused and other marginalized people that walk among us? Reverend Dr. Wimberly responded, I came here today by myself. Usually I bring my grandchildren. They follow me everywhere. I have to think about whether I wanted my granddaughter to come because I didn't know what I would meet. Everywhere I go, I have to make sure it's a safe place, and most times I don't know. She continued, I'm from Alabama. My older brother told me that during integration, a group of European American kids invited some African American kids to their church. The adults say things are changing and this is going to look good. And we've been in church and we talk about God as love and we were told to love one another. And when that group of African American kids went to the European American church, my brother said half of the people got up and left. This led me to a few conclusions. Talking about welcoming the stranger comes across as idle talk unless it is wedded to action. Our community places of congregations are not yet the safe spaces we hope them to be. We are challenged as a council and as a city to answer to all members of our community, no matter if the matter is 1-year-old in an open investigation, as in the case of Michelle McCarran, or in the case of Izzy Parrott, a 61-year-old barbecue chef, a beloved member of the community, whose body was found hanging from 30 foot in a tree 20 years ago, improbably ruled by authorities as a suicide. We need to have these conversations to clear the air, get uncomfortable, and allow families to grieve their losses before our community can be truly inclusive. Thank you.
Thank you. Old business, Councilman Pellegrino.
Something really cool happened on Sunday. Glens Falls hosted Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Pat Ryan, both representatives of the U.S. Congress, one in New York City and one in Gibbs area. And it was the most uplifting and amazing event ever. And it was just so cool to see two rising stars enjoy the neighborhoods and our lovely Charles Harwood Theater. So it was lovely and happy that they came up to Glens Falls.
And just to add on to that, Dan and I were both there, and we got to see Alexandria ask a question, and Sean got to put his hand up, and she called on him, and the question was, I think what it was, have you ever been able to get somebody to change their opinion that is from a very conservative background or what a MAGA background? So do you want to talk about that a little?
Sure. I just told the story of how I, just through love and kindness and persistence, I was able to have my mother-in-law, who grew up a Christian Baptist, doesn't really believe that I should be married to her son, and I was able to have her reference me as her son's husband publicly in a diner, and that's really amazing. Like, that you can change anybody's life with just consistent kindness.
Thank you. Okay, now we will go to new business. Councilwoman Larson.
Well, I guess it's not new business, it's old business, but our basketball, we're a basketball family. And the basketball tournament was great, still going on. Unfortunately, we didn't make it, but we did well. And congratulations to the mayor's daughter, Sadie. She went so far with her shot put. We're so proud of her, and please let her know how proud we are of her. She went a long ways, and she represented our city, and we're just proud to all of our athletes. And it's always good when it comes to Glens Falls, because we know how to host. Okay.
Thank you. New business, Councilman Donahue.
This really doesn't fall under new business, but I just want to thank, it probably should fall under the committee, but I just want to thank Ben and Bob's work on the finance committee. It's a big undertaking, and I appreciate Ben's comments earlier, Councilman Lappin's comments earlier. It's a big undertaking, but I'm excited to do it, and it seems like we're making That's the only new business that I have.
Okay. New business, Councilman Landry.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, I always report about new business. So we've got more new businesses moving into our community. 3 of them in the second ward out of the 4 I've mentioned, so I'm happy about that. Rapid Roofing, a professional residential commercial roofing company, bought a building over on Dix Avenue, has opened up an office and showroom across from Romeo Chevrolet. We will send a lot of success. This Friday, there'll be a ribbon cutting at Glens Falls Liquor, which is opening their retail store up at 280 Glen Street. I think that's up around the corner of South Street, somewhere up that way.
Yeah, just right at that point.
Right at that corner, right? And at 12 East Washington, the Use Less store recently had their ribbon cutting for their new retail store. I went to that, and it's hard to describe the store, but it's very unique, and I suggest everybody take a look at it. And I'd like to thank these businesses that have come to town and give them a huge thank you for making Glens Falls a place that they're going to run their businesses. That's all.
Thank you. New business, Councilman Rice.
All right, I heard from a constituent on Marion Avenue who wanted to express their gratitude to both the fire department and the DPW for their professionalism and hard work in responding to and cleaning up after the devastating fire at 9 Marion Avenue, which was a few months ago. Even in difficult circumstances, it's important to recognize when our departments handle situations with care and confidence. And I just wanted to make sure that that appreciation was put on the record. Second, with warmer temperatures and melting snow, our usual puddles have been forming. So I want to just provide an update on water and sewer issues in terms of the third ward, specifically regarding puddles and general flood mitigation. I did reach out to the water and sewer department to inquire about any plans they might have to address these concerns. And they've been working hard to keep the sewer drains clear and catchment basins clear. There's some funding coming from Warren County, which will be directed towards design and engineering work. And further context on that, in the past year or so, there was a study conducted to identify some of the issues that is causing flooding and puddling. This year, the focus is going to be on designing solutions to those identified problems. And then the implementation of those designs will be the next step. Also, I did have a constituent who wanted to ask that we please be mindful of the online viewers and just to make sure we're using microphones. Not in that way. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. New business, Councilman Lappin.
Yeah, I was gonna say Glens Falls later. I got beat to the punch there. I would just kind of add on to that was a long time making. It took 2 years because they were 140 or 246 feet away from the end line of the church. So they had to have a special law passed through the state in order to grant them the ability to open up. So that was a lot of work that was done in order to get them open. So I just wanted to add that in, and also just to say that we're going through the parking. I've been stopped by people on the street, so just for people out there, we're going through. The mayor has told me. I'll actually let the mayor say exactly what's happening.
Yes, I'll touch on that when I get to my
Okay, good. Okay, that's all I have.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. New business, Councilman Palladino.
My new business is this Sunday at 11 a.m. at Glens Falls High School is the annual Shamrock Shuffle 5-miler. It's 5 miles is a lot compared to like just to the 5K, but come out to hopefully a beautiful day. Well, hopefully it's just like today, but I feel it might be cold. But this Sunday, the 15th at 11 a.m., go to adirondackrunners.org to sign up, and also to point out that Advocate, the design studio, has revamped the Adirondack Runners website, so it actually seems more functional, beautiful than it was.
Thank you. So I have a few items I wanted to mention. First of all, hopefully some of you have met our new office coordinator, Dana Cornell. If you haven't, stop by and say hello. She's been doing a great job, and I'd like to thank Bernie Gray for coming in and helping with training. I have good news. posted. I wanted to thank our assessor, Sue, for bringing the income thresholds of seniors to our attention, and I had asked her to direct that to the Audit and Finance Committee, and I appreciate you meeting with her. You know, the city has an income threshold at which seniors can receive a discount, and so does Warren County, and so do all communities, and we are taking a look at whether we want to raise that to offer more opportunity for our seniors. And it sounds like your committee is looking favorably up on that.
Yeah, we're gonna move forward with
Yeah.
that proposal.
Yeah, that's great. So thank you, and thank you to Sue for bringing that to our attention. We have, you know, an aging population and many people living close to poverty or just above it, and I think if we can help, we should. I wanted to address parking. So basically, I have been trying to move forward with changing the 2-hour parking limit outside of downtown. So the first step was to discuss this with police, fire, DPW, and the school district. I had conversations with all of those stakeholders to find out if anybody had concerns. Nobody did. So then I asked the Board of Public Safety for approval to move that to the Common Council Policy Commission, which they gave. And then your policy committee has taken that up and moved it to a draft phase, I believe, right?
It's at the point where we've given it back to the Board of Public Safety
Right.
to give their approval or feedback.
Yes, so it was moved to a draft phase, and it's now on the agenda for Wednesday's Board of Public Safety meeting, and if they, they will offer an advisory opinion, and then it'll come back to the Common Council to set a public hearing, and I think that will be a good change that will address several of the issues, not every parking issue, but several of the issues that have come up. So I thank you for your work on that. Does anyone have any further, did you want me to address anything else related to parking?
Just one of the things that we were discussing when we were discussing the 2 hours is that some of the feedback I've gotten too is that there doesn't seem to be enough handicapped inventory. So I wanted to see if we could establish what our parking inventory is for at least for the downtown core area, and then move forward with best practices for accessible parking. And in the meantime, have a moratorium for anybody who has a handicap plate or a tag, that they wouldn't be subject to the 2 hour until we address the inventory.
Okay. Would you like to put maybe on the next council agenda some sort of resolution
Sure.
forward regarding that? And I did reach out to our city engineer, and I think Steve reached out to the clerk's office just to ask some questions about parking, because I had met with some constituents, one from the South Street area who felt that the handicap parking had decreased. There's always been one street level handicap parking, it's still there on South Street, but I definitely am not opposed to evaluating it.
Sure.
So, okay. With that, I will open the. Oh, yes.
One more
Sure.
I forgot, my constituents, well, actually, Mayor, I'd just like for you to speak on it, but I just want to make sure, I know we had they were here for our last meetings, but since then, everyone has got their assessments.
Yeah.
So I heard a lot from the assessments, so I just want, they can go and read or whatever, talk about their assessments before the end of the month
Yes.
at City Hall, correct?
Yes, there are several dates. Don't know them off the top of my head.
Okay, but
Do you have them?
Which ones?
For KLW?
Oh,
that are
no,
here.
no.
They are listed on our website, and
I
we put,
thought it was.
for several days,
Okay,
and
yeah.
we'll be taking meetings with people. And everybody has the opportunity to come in and talk about the assessment. You can bring in pictures, you can state your case, and oftentimes they're flexible in working with people. So yes, and then of course we have the grievance day that happens every year too.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Is Sue upstairs? Is that? Push it, or do I? Okay. Okay. I was asked to ask you for an executive session under New York Public Officers Law, Section 105, 1D, to discuss and consider a proposed settlement of Article 7 action between Union Square Properties and the City of Glens Falls. We can go upstairs and discuss it if the assessor's not there. Taylor is briefed on the issue and can talk to us about it. Okay? Would anyone